I know many of y'all are confused how to run the nightclub, so today I'm going to be telling you guys how you can make millions using the nightclub. Just before we get into the video, if you're wanting to buy this as your first business, I wouldn't recommend it. Keep on watching to know why you shouldn't. Starting off, we're going to talk about which nightclub you should buy and which you shouldn't. As you can see, there are multiple nightclubs in Los Santos. Starting off with the nightclubs you shouldn't buy, you should not buy the Elysian Island nightclub because this is the most dog water location ever. Yes, it's cheap, but your sale missions and your popularity missions are going to be super hard to do. Same would be with the LSIA nightclub. It is quite literally in the same location, as well as the Cypress Flats. If you're a little low on money, I would recommend you get the Mission Road nightclub or the Strawberry nightclub. I wouldn't necessarily buy these two over here, but if you want to go with them, it's your choice. But if you want to go with the best for your money and to make sale missions super easy for you, you would either get the West Vinewood nightclub or the Downtown Vinewood nightclub, because these are the best locations, the most central locations, and will make sale missions super easy. Especially knowing that some sale missions can be all the way across to Palito Bay. So if you are at Elysian Island, you're basically crossing the entire map with a van or a truck, which is going to be horrible. The nightclub style, the light to rig, the nightclub name, the dry ice, and the dancers are unnecessary. These are cosmetic, and if you don't want to have them, you don't need to upgrade. But what is important is the storage. If you have the money, you should buy all the extra floors for your storage facility so that you can store as much of the product you'll be selling, which we will get into later in the video. Next up, we got the garage space. You don't necessarily need this, but if you're looking for more garage space, this is the way to do it. Overall, with all the upgrades, you'll be setting about $3 million, so do with that information. You have two ways of making money with this business. One is the nightclub itself, and the other is the underground business. We're going to be starting off with the nightclub business first. In the bottom right, you have a popularity bar, which has total 5 bars, and each bar is 20%. As that keeps depleting, the amount of money you make decreases. If your popularity bar is full, you'll be making $50,000 every 48 minutes that you can collect from the safe in your office. The safe caps at $250,000, so if you reach that cap, you'll make no money unless you collect the money from the safe. It's important to keep the popularity up so you make the most amount of money. You can increase your popularity in 3 ways. The first way to do it is kick out a troublemaker, second is switching DJs, and third is doing popularity missions. We're going to start off with the kick out troublemaker missions. You can trigger one after every 48 minutes, and to make sure that you trigger one every single time you enter the nightclub after 48 minutes, you can enter passive mode and then enter the nightclub, and then you'll get a blue icon to start this up. It will take literally 2 minutes, from which you get just over 1/5 of your popularity up. Next up, we got the switching DJs. To start off the switching DJs, you need to buy another DJ, which can cost you $100,000, and you need to do a mission like you did for the first one. Then to switch the DJs, you have to pay $10,000 every single time you do it. Every single time you do it, it'll count for 10% of your popularity bar. So if your popularity is 0, you do it 10 times, and then your popularity bar will be full. I would recommend you do this in the basement, since once you switch DJs, there's no cutscene. But if you do it in the office, there'll be a super long cutscene, and you honestly will be better off doing the popularity missions. Speaking of the popularity missions can take super long, and they're not necessarily worth it, knowing that you have 2 ways of increasing your popularity, which is kick out the troublemaker and switching DJs. So I would consider you do only those 2 and skip popularity missions. Just before we continue with the video, I have to ask you a question. Have you subscribed? Because 95.3% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so you should subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1K before the end of this year, and I can do it with only yours guys' support. So please, subscribe, or this chicken will come after you. Let's start off with the underground business. This is the illegal side of the nightclub business, which makes it a GTA business. Now in the warehouse management, you have to assign technicians to collect goods from certain businesses. Like I said, this business is going to cost a lot, and this is the reason why. To make the most amount of money, you should be picking cargo and shipment, sporting goods, South American imports, pharmaceutical research, and cash curation. For cargo and shipment, you'll be needing a cargo warehouse or a hangar. For For sporting goods, you need a bunker. For South American imports, you need the Coca-Cola. For pharmaceutical research, you'll be needing the Breaking Bad. For cash creation, you'll be needing the Counterfeit Cash Factory. If you assign your technicians to these, you'll be making around $50,000 per 48 minutes, which is the highest you can make. Therefore, you'll be making around $100,000 every 48 minutes if you pick the correct businesses and you have your popularity full, which makes it one of the best passive businesses in GTA. Now let's head on to the upgrades. The equipment upgrade as well as the staff upgrade are going to be super useful, which is going to help keep your popularity up and to make the most amount of money. The security upgrade isn't a big thing that I would recommend you should get, because I do my nightclub sale missions when the value of my goods is around $1 million, so I don't really need the security upgrade. If you're willing to hold a ton of product at once, such as $2 million, that's when I would recommend getting the security upgrade to make sure you don't get as many raids. Whatever DJ you pick, it does not matter, you can go with any. The only reason why you would get a second one would be to switch DJs for your popularity to go up. Now your delivery vehicle is incredibly important. You got the Pounder Custom, the Speedo Custom, and the Mule Custom. I would refrain from the Mule Custom because it's the worst one out of the three, so just don't get it. Speedo, you get it for completely free when you buy the nightclub business, and it's provided with armor plating as well as weapons. You can put proximity mines on it, as well as mounted machine guns down here, a remote 50 cal up top, and a remote minigun. The remote 50 cal is good at doing a lot of damage, but in my opinion you should be gunning with the remote minigun. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to start shooting, but it does a lot more damage. Next up we got the Pounder Custom. This thing is one big boy. You can get armor plating as well as weapons on it, which includes secondary weapons, meaning if there's a passenger with you, they can use a remote grenade launcher. You can also have proximity mines and a primary weapon, which includes mounted miniguns, mounted missiles, as well as the remote missile battery. I would recommend you should get the remote missile battery because you can shoot at any direction with it. The only problem is because it's so high, it's super hard to hit objects which are below. Now which vehicle you use depends on which circumstances you're using it. If you're in a private session with little product, then the Speedo Custom is what you're going to go with because it's super fast. Also keep in note that you can use the Speedo Custom until your product has exceeded around $500,000 to $600,000, after which you'll use the Mule if you have that, or the Pounder Custom. The Speedo Custom is super fast, but it doesn't have a lot of defense. As you can see, there's only a minigun or a 50 cal machine gun which is only good on this thing, and proximity mines. It can't take as many rockets as the Pounder Custom, so that is a big disadvantage. This is more of a sale vehicle to be used in private sessions and to quickly complete small sale missions. For bigger sale missions, you should be using the Pounder Custom, which can take more missiles and also has those crazy weapons up top, proximity mines, and a secondary grenade launcher. Due to this being a pretty big vehicle, it is slower than the Speedo Custom, but has better defense. Therefore, this is good for big sale missions in public sessions, which is better because in public sessions, you get an increased bonus of money depending on how many players there are, knowing that every player counts as 2% of an increase. One thing about the sale missions you should note is that Tony takes a laundry fee, which is around 10% of the value of your product. However, this does cap at $100,000. This means that, for example, you have $500,000 sale, Tony will take $50,000. If you have $1 million sale, Tony will take $100,000. But as $100,000 is his cap for the laundry fee, if you for example do a 2 million sale mission, he's still going to take $100,000. Therefore, the bigger your sale, the more the money you make from doing it in a public session, as well as a less laundry fee from Tony.